wonderful viewers. Welcome to Inspirational Moments with AOOI. My name is Ipia Odra Obenyewa. Today, we touch on the value of pleasure, looking through at Ecclesiastes, the book, chapter number 2, on how Solomon makes us see the pursuit of life in relation to the pleasures that he had, which still didn't give him satisfaction, and how today in our society we are facing that same thing. If you haven't yet clicked on our subscribe button, kindly click on that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you get notified anytime a new video is uploaded. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with more details on how and what Ecclesiastes chapter 2 makes us learn from it. View of pleasure. We find out from Ecclesiastes that Solomon pursued fulfillment through pleasure, wine, great works, wealth, and fame. Yet all of these failed to bring him lasting satisfaction, even though he was the wisest man. Yet today in our 21st century, people are still trying to search for fulfillment in the same things. We are not saying that pleasure in itself is evil, no. But then it has its own shortcomings, much like our human wisdom. Solomon reflected upon his tragic experience in attempting to draw satisfaction purely out of pleasure. He pursued heights of pleasure and in diverse ways that a man can enjoy himself. But doing all these things, he held on to wisdom. Solomon laments that this pursuit of pleasure and accomplishment does not result in lasting fulfillment. We can see that Solomon was so dissatisfied with his life and the way he experienced it that he decided to even still go ahead to try the pleasure of flesh. He is like many of us today who look for peace in the wrong places. He has plenty of money, plenty of fame, but that does not satisfy his hungry soul. I have heard many people say that they thought that being rich or being big people would make them happy. But when they acquired all the great riches, they were still unhappy. Some of them searched for fame, thinking that fame will satisfy them. Many people in our society today drink alcohol, take drugs to hide from the realities of what they are facing in life. They feel that for a moment, the deadening they get to their situation will help them forget their sorrow. But in reality, that doesn't work. When the effects are all gone, they are even more depressed than it already began. This is what Solomon discovered. There is a certain amount of pride that goes along with we finishing certain accomplishments or projects or tasks we give to ourselves here on earth. But it is a known fact that when the D-Day comes and we are dead and we are going, none of them follows us. The only treasure we carry with us when we are gone is those that we stored up in heaven before we died. Things we do for ourselves or for everything will be of no assistance to us in heaven in future. Solomon had great wealth. He had great fame on earth. All of that he left behind. True satisfaction comes from a relationship with the Lord. Nothing else in this life can fill that void. Solomon finds that fleshly happiness does not bring any satisfaction either. Even with the limitations of the present life, humanity should still enjoy in the temporal goodness from the hands of God. Solomon's strong view of God's sovereignty brought him comfort after an honest critique of what life in this cursed world entails. When we view at life's pleasure, wealth, wisdom, and work from the hands of God, we find that They are gifts from God's hands. Without God, nothing else satisfies. All of the work, the wisdom, and the wealth of this earth or world come not add up to the satisfaction we get from God. Life, like the butterflies that refuse to be taken captive at the end of the world. Life's fleeting pleasure refuse to be caught unless we see everything from the hand of God and praise Him for it. For a believer, even in our troubles and heartaches and struggles, we should know that all of that come from God. There is hope if you decide to trust in God. Take notes as you go along your day to day that all blessings that have come from the hands of God is where we find meaning. Solomon examines the destiny of his legacy, and it brought out the value from the hand of his work and depression. We should know that Solomon turned from his frustration of failing to find meaning through reasoning and experience. He discovered the meaning and purpose of a life of faith and thanksgiving to God. And that is what we need to take with us today. The pleasures of the world is enough, but until we find meaning in God's way, until we find meaning and see the joy of everything in accordance to God, we will never find satisfaction.